The season's over, guys. The New York Knicks came into Little Caesars Arena, beat the Pistons for a third time, and won the series 4-2. How'd it happen? We'll break it down in today's episode, Locked On Pistons Podcast.
You are Locked On Pistons, your daily Detroit Pistons podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's the deal? Welcome back to another episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast. Per usual, I'm your host, Ku Kahil. You can find me over on Twitter at Ku Kahil. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We're free and available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Head to the Substack where I will continue to have content for you guys. I don't know what exactly we're going to do. I'll have film breakdowns. We may go back and revisit games. I'll have season reviews. We still have content coming to you guys over in the Substack. And also the playback room. Just because we don't have Piston live watch parties anymore doesn't mean we won't watch games for the rest of the playoffs. And then in the offseason, we may have rewatch games and do all kinds of fun stuff over in the playback room. Check it out down below if you want to join it. You guys can tell by the tone of my voice, not a good outcome for your Detroit Pistons. They had a chance to extend this series to 7, get back to Madison Square Garden, and give themselves a chance. Give themselves a chance to win the game, win this series. They gave themselves a chance. And after being, I would say, pretty outplayed for the first 3 quarters, Detroit surged back in the fourth quarter. I was there credentialed. The stadium, the crowd, the arena was absolutely it was deafening. The crowd was unreal. Absolutely unreal. The crowd was amazing. Couldn't hear anything. You wondering why it sounds like I maybe lost my voice? Because all I was trying to do, I wasn't cheering. I was just simply trying to talk to the person next to me in the media row. And we were having to scream because we couldn't hear each other. Crowd was amazing. And the Pistons surged back after being down 11 earlier in this fourth quarter. Took the lead. Not just came back and tied. Took the lead by 5. With 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. On an Ausar Thompson second made free throw. And now, guys, this is where I have to take things in a different direction. If you are watching this on YouTube, you will see that over on the side, you will see we only have the first segment drawn out. Season is over. Why is that? Because right now I may be all over the place. There's many areas I want to go. But I have to start with the absolutely baffling, unexplainable, confusing, non-understanding decision by JB Biggerstaff to take out Ausar Thompson with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left. The Pistons were down by 11 early in this fourth quarter. 12 points, actually. 12 points early in the fourth. They subbed in Ausar with 9 minutes left. The score was 101-89. Over the next 5 minutes, the Pistons outscored the Knicks 2-21. I'll say it again. Over the next 5 minutes after Ausar was subbed into the game, they outscored the Knicks 2-21. Over this stretch, Ausar had a dunk, a layup, a steal, another layup, another steal, drew a foul, hit 1 of 2 free throws. And JB took him out with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left, where Jalen Brunson, which, before we go any further, Jalen Brunson hit a hell of a shot. He crossed up Ausar. That's going to be one that is played for the ages. That was a crazy move. He deserves all the credit. He did. But before that final play, throughout the fourth quarter, Ausar Thompson was clamping him up. And the Pistons took him off the floor. Their defense was outstanding. Their defense was outstanding with Ausar on the floor in the fourth quarter. If you want the numbers to back it up, with Ausar on the floor in the fourth quarter, Jalen Brunson was 2 of 10, including that last game-winning shot. So outside the game-winning shot, he was 1 of 9. He was 1 of 9 against Ausar in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks had 4 turnovers over this span. This is the only time that I have ever seen my entire Twitter feed from beat writers outside of Detroit, national media, national writers, all asking the same question. Not just inside Detroit, people outside of Detroit watching the game to analyze basketball, cover the NBA, asking the same question. Why did you take out Ausar Thompson? I waited to record the podcast until we got an answer. Because if it was Ausar is tired, then it is what it is. But it was not because Ausar was tired. Ausar was asked after the game, why, when you were taken out, did you ask to come out? Were you tired, or was it schematic? He said schematic, but we trust everyone on the team. It's unacceptable. That's a baffling. It's an absolute baffling decision by JB Bickerstaff. Absolute baffling decision. I have nothing for it. In the few minutes that Ausar was off the floor, Jalen Brunson was 2 of 4, 5 points. And that's all they needed. That's all they needed while Ausar was out. While Ausar was out the game, before he came back into the game, Brunson scored immediately back-to-back. And one, and then a driving layup underneath. Because the guys guarding him are just too small. He overpowers them in the fourth quarter. They are good through quarter 1 to quarter 3 because they can pest full court. And that is agitating. But once you get into the half court and you clear the floor out, Jalen Brunson, who I got to talk with Monica McNutt before the game a little bit, she spoke about how strong he is, and people don't realize how strong he is. He is an extremely strong dude. So he's able to just bump Schroeder off of him in the half court and get to his shots, and that's what he did in just a few minutes. Ausar was out the game. The Pistons went from being up 7 to up 2. Ausar comes back into the game, and we know what happens after that. The Pistons, once they got up by 7, once they were already up, had all the momentum on their side. This should have been them closing out the game. They should have won this game by 7 points. Ausar Thompson, after being the best player, arguably the best player, second best player for the Pistons last game, follows it up with playing 22 minutes and 46 seconds in this game. The only player he played more minutes than was Paul Reed. He played less minutes than Tobias, than Duren, than Tim Hardaway Jr., who was 3 of 11, 1 of 6 from the field. He played 8 less minutes than Schroeder, who was 3 of 9, 1 of 4 from the field. And he played less than Malik Beasley, who was 6 of 13 from the field. Actually had a good game. All 13 of the shots were threes, 6 of 13 from deep. You finally got that game from Malik, 20 points. By the way, Malik played 9 less minutes than THJ, despite having 20 points and shooting 6 of 13 from deep. Ausar Thompson being your second best player last 2 games, having this level of impact, playing 22 minutes, and then being subbed out, and it being such a baffling decision that you have every single person that was watching the game asking, why was he taken out? Schematic reasons, I guess. It's a baffling decision from JB Bickerstaff. I can't understand why. I just can't. I truly just can't. I cannot understand why they did this. If they don't do that, the Pistons are going back to Madison Square Garden with the Game 7. They had all the momentum on their end. Ausar was playing great defense on Jalen Brunson. They couldn't score in the half court. He was clamping all of them up. And then for some reason you take him out. Brunson immediately scores 6 points, gets going again. And then what happens. We'll talk about the rest of the series. We'll talk about the rest of the things that happen within this game coming back. But I'm not going to get loud. I'm not going to get emotional or anything like that, because I'm genuinely like, I'm confused. I can't comprehend why. Can't comprehend why this was the decision made. I truly feel like this decision lost the Pistons this series. Doesn't mean the other games didn't matter. Doesn't mean that the Pistons could have played better in the other games. It doesn't mean there's other reasons why they lost this game. But I truly believe that if they just simply kept him on the floor, we're going back to Madison Square Garden with a chance to win the game. And taking him off the floor removed all that chance. To end this segment, in just 22 minutes and 46 seconds of action, Ausar had 17 points, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks, and an assist. He only played 22 minutes, despite what he did last game, and despite Jalen Brunson going off for 40 points in this game and dominating every single other person that was guarding him. Dominated. And despite him being 2 of 10 against Ausar in the fourth quarter, Ausar only played 22 minutes. I ain't got nothing for you guys. I got nothing. We'll talk about what else happened in this game and why the Pistons are going home and this season's over coming up. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all the money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDINNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDINNBA for half off your first year with Monarch Money. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. Free and available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. That's another great way to support the podcast. You guys know it. Check out the description down below for the Substack and the Playback Room. Join us over there. I really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get back into this series and this game. The Pistons lost 4-2. Go home in 6. Lose all 3 of their home games. Had a chance to win every single game. It's the first time in the playoffs that 4 straight games have been decided by 3 points or less since 1981. Pistons had a chance. I'm sure people in that locker room feel like not only do they feel like they should have been going back to Madison Square Garden for Game 7, I'm sure there's people in the locker room that feel like they should have won the series by now. They had a chance to win every single game. They had a chance. And they just weren't able to get it done. For coaching decisions, player performances, turning the ball over, whatever it is. They had their chances and they just didn't get it done. There's going to be a lot of talk about Cade. I already see it happening. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Cade in this game was 0 of 8 from deep. 0 of 8. Which means he was 9 of 14 on twos, which you'll take. That was really good, but he could not get a 3 to fall for his life in this game. He ended the game with 23 points, 8 rebounds, or 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block. He averaged for the series about 25.5, 8 and 8. Maintained basically the same level of production in the playoffs. Efficiency dropped off. How should you feel about Cade after this series? I'll make it very clear. You should feel great about Cade after this series. Every star goes through their lumps in their first playoff series, in their first playoff run. No one joins the playoffs and goes on a great run and doesn't have their setbacks, doesn't have their moments that they would like to have back, things that they can improve on, things they struggled at. Every single star, think of them, Michael Jordan, LeBron, literally every single star you can think of in their first playoff run has things go wrong for them, things they realize that they have to work on, they have to get better on, and they use it as motivation going forward. Every single star. And that is what will happen for Cade moving forward. But considering the context with the personnel that he had around him, what he was able to do in his first playoff series, again, with this personnel, with the context given, I don't understand how you can't feel anything less than great about Cade moving forward. He had a chance to win it at the end of Game 4 or Game 5. Was it Game 5? No, yeah, Game 4. He missed the jumper. So what? You know how many players have missed jumpers at the end of the game to win the game? Everyone misses. It is what it is. It is what it is. He came back Game 5 and had 13 in the fourth quarter and won them that game to extend the series. That counts just like the other one didn't count, or just like the other one counted. And in this game, would have loved to see Cade be able to score some buckets at the very end here to kind of close this game out. He wasn't able to do it. Jalen Brunson was. And Jalen Brunson was the better basketball player in this series. Jalen Brunson is the better basketball player right now. As of right now, he is the better basketball player. He's able to hit tough shots. He was more consistently great in the fourth quarter than Cade was in this series. Cade's also 23 years old in his first playoff series ever with no other secondary creator, with no other half-court creator on the floor with him. And if Knicks fans happen to hear this, this is nowhere near trying to take shots at Jalen Brunson. It's simply just trying to paint the picture for Cade. Jalen Brunson's fantastic. He played better than Cade this series. He outplayed him in the fourth. He did throughout the series. He was consistently greater than Cade in the fourth. But Jalen Brunson's also playing with Mikal Bridges, Karl-Anthony Towns, and OG Anunoby all on the floor with him at once. That's incredible offensive talent to all have around you to take some pressure off of you to where the defense can't just focus on you. The Knicks defense was trap, double, blitz, pinch down, scrap down at the nail, reach in on at the gaps. Their entire game plan was, we are going to send everything at Cade, and he's not going to beat us. That was the context Cade dealt with this entire series, without having another creator within the half court to take that pressure off of him. Like we mentioned in the other podcast, there's only one player in the playoffs that had more touches than Cade, and it's Jokic. He's carried an insane amount of load in this playoffs as a 23-year-old, first time in the playoffs. And despite that, he got the Detroit Pistons, who haven't won a playoff game in 17 years, who just won 14 games last year. He won them 2 games. They won 2 games in the playoffs this year. As a 6th seed, underdogs, he got 2 games. They lost 4 straight games by less than 3 and had the Knicks on the ropes every single game, despite being extremely overmatched talent-wise. Was his efficiency great? No. But considering all of that, the context of his personnel and everything else he did, and in the playoffs, it's about production. It's not just about efficiency. It's about production, too. And to put up 25, 8, and 8, and be as competitive as he was defensively. He made the defensive play of the game in the fourth quarter when the Pistons went on this run. There was a play where Jalen Duren got stuck on Jalen Brunson, hedging too hard, stayed with them, catch wide open at the top of the key. Looks like they're about to shoot this 3. I think it was to take the lead. And Cade reads it in live time, makes the sprint from the weak side corner to take it away from Cat the last second, and then forces Cat to turn the ball over, and the Pistons go down and score. Absolutely tremendous defensive play that requires a crazy IQ and reaction and ability to read in live time what's happening next. Cade wasn't perfect in this series. He needs to get better. He will get better. But in his first playoff series ever, with this context around him, he went toe-to-toe with Jalen Brunson. He won the Pistons a Game 5 with their backs against the wall, scoring 13 in the fourth quarter. Got them to extend the series, got them back to Little Caesars Arena, won them their first 2 playoff games since 2008, and gave them a chance to win the game in every single game they played. Despite being the underdog, despite being the 6th seed, and despite being at a massive talent disadvantage. I don't know how you walk away feeling anything but great about Cade moving forward, knowing that once you get him more help and he has another secondary, he has someone else that can create within the half court, he has a co-star, that things will be good. Don't know how you don't feel great about him. Wish he could have made some threes tonight. Wish he could have closed it out tonight. But if you're walking away from this series saying, I don't know about Cade, I don't know what you just watched. I don't know I have to question your basketball IQ if that's how you're walking away from this series. He averaged 25, 8, and 8. Signature performances throughout the series. Game 2 and Game 5. First time ever, 23 years old. No other creator. He did what he had to do. He did the most he could do at this point in his career. He'll be better. He will get better. The team will get better. The Pistons will be back, and Cade will be back. It is what it is. Everyone takes their lumps in their first playoff run. Happens to everyone. Let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about Cade after this playoff series, and then we'll wrap up our thoughts on this playoff series in the final segment. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was not ready for this to be the final podcast I talk about. I'm not ready to get into offseason content. I was not ready. I was not expecting this to be the podcast I get into offseason content. Kind of shocked right now. So we'll wrap it up. I'm sure you guys are feeling all the same way. We'll wrap up our thoughts with the series when we come back. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. Free and available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. That's another great way to support the podcast. And all right, you guys know the description down below, obviously. Playback, Substack. Obviously it's a depressing time right now. It's saddening. It's deflating. It sucks that the Pistons season's over. It sucks that this team, with the kind of connection they had made with the city, how much fans loved watching this team and the story behind this team. It sucks to have to say and acknowledge that the chapter's over, that the book's closed. It sucks. I know fans, trust me, I know it. I know fans are feeling really down that this is the end. Like this is the end of this team's season. It was a special season for a multitude of reasons. Crazy moments, the growth, all of it. It's tough to have to close the book on this season. But before we close the book, final thoughts on this series. Ausar Thompson, I thought, proved his importance and impact. He didn't have the greatest game one, but I thought these last two games, he was the Pistons' second best player. He needs to be a massive priority moving forward. Jalen Duren, he has places he has to improve on. He has to get better defensively. But this dude, at 21 years old, gave it everything he possibly had every single time he touched the floor. Every single time he touched the floor. Played 39 minutes in this game and was busting his you-know-what every single time he was on the floor. Finished the series off with 21.6 rebounds and 3 assists in this game. 9 of 10 from the free throw line. He gave it everything he had. Everything he had. And outplayed Cat in this game. Gave it everything they had. Or that he had. Tobias Harris. I don't know how much more you could credit Tobias. There was a lot of questions about, is he worth the money in the offseason? And don't even have to talk about what he did for them throughout the season. But what he did for them in these playoffs proved to be more than worth it. More than worth the contract. And he will be credited for years to come for helping change this culture as the Pistons continue to build with this young core and make the runs that they'll make. He will be credited for years to come for helping change this culture. 14 points in this game, 6 of 10 from the field. Tasked with guarding Cat the entire series. Another game, Cat struggles because of Tobias Harris. Cat 4 of 10. Only got 1 3 up. Tobias's defense on the catch with Cat, not allowing the Cat to get any clean looks on the catch, was exceptional. Truly a great, great series from Tobias Harris. And the Pistons are lucky to have him on this team, and he made a world of difference for them in this series. Dennis Schroeder, I thought, was a great pickup for him and came through in this series. He shouldn't be tasked with scoring 20 points. Shouldn't be his role. But within the role he had, he did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal. To the point where I think the Pistons should probably make it a priority to try to get him back as the backup point guard. He was phenomenal. And even Paul Reed didn't have the greatest game. But damn it, he gave it his all when he was on the floor. So, and Malik struggled this series, but came through in this game. 6 threes. Tried to give it everything he had. Looked like it was going to be enough. And I know him fumbling the ball out of bounds at the end when he looked like it was going to have a great look. That's a heartbreaking, absolutely stomach-curling way for the game to end. I get it. But what Malik did for the team all season, the season he had, I can't let the playoff series in which he struggled take that away. And then THJ was a phenomenal vet all year for him. I thought really struggled for the majority of this series, but I mean, even in this fourth quarter, he hit 2 shots that I thought were going to be big for him. Hit that baseline pull-up midi, hit a 3, and I thought that was going to be enough. Pistons went up by 7. I thought that would be enough. I thought they have closed the Knicks out, but obviously going back to the decision they made earlier in the first segment, I don't understand it. But look, man, this will be my final thoughts. And I don't know. This is the last episode of this week, so I don't know. I was expecting to have an episode for you guys Saturday because I thought Game 7 was going to come. I don't know what the content's going to be like next week. I don't know what the topics. I don't know yet if we're going to have some guests on to review this series and kind of still go back. Are we going to officially close the chapter in the series? If we're going to just go straight into the off-season content, we might do that. Don't know yet. But if this is our final, if this is our final pod on this playoff series, if this is our closing of the chapter, I just want to say this. I know it's going to be hard to hear this right now, and it's even hard for me to say it right now. But this season was an absurd, no doubt success. And the fact that the Pistons, as the 6th seed, as massive underdogs, pushed this series to 6 and was in every single game and had 4 straight games decided by 3 and were in a position as a young of a team as they are to win in the final moments with your best players being 23, 22, 21 being their first playoff series. It was clear the moment wasn't too big for them. It was clear the moment wasn't too bright for them. They will get better. This was a phenomenal series. I think this is one of the best series I've ever watched. Close every single game, fun series to watch. And you saw each of the Pistons' young guys show up and deliver and get better in this series. Ausar get better. Jalen Duren get better. Cade get better. All of your young guys got better. And again, led a 6th seed in a position to take down the 3. It's tough to lose, especially when you had chances to win. But this was a phenomenal season, phenomenal series, and everyone should be walking away. Once you finally get over and look, I'm not saying I'm even completely over, obviously. The game just ended. But once you get past the heartbreak, the devastation of the season actually being over, everyone will look back and say, what a phenomenal playoff series. What a phenomenal season. What a phenomenal run. And this team has massive arrows pointing up. I don't mean just a little bit. I mean the arrows are straight up through the roof. This team will be back for years to come. They actually have something to build around. They have a young core to build around, a franchise superstar to build around. They will get better. They will make the moves needed, and they will be back for years to come. This is just the start of Detroit basketball back in the playoffs. Tough way to go out, but a phenomenal series, phenomenal season. And Detroit will be back. They'll be back. Thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. I hope I provided you guys the best possible coverage during the playoffs for the Pistons, with all the film breakdowns in the Substack, obviously daily with the YouTube, the newsletter while I was going, everything. I hope I put a lot into this series to covering this for you guys. Getting to be credentialed for the games was huge. Covering my first playoff games, it was a truly, I'm humbled to be a part of it and be able to do that and provide this kind of coverage for all of you guys. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope I did a good job for you guys. And I hope you guys appreciate all of it. So we'll be back Monday. Don't know what the content will be like. Again, I'm still kind of shocked that we're not going to have a Game 7. I was expecting the next episode to be a Game 7, but we'll be back Monday with, I don't know yet, but you guys know I'll continue to have daily episodes and daily content for you guys because we don't stop over here. We keep the content going. I got you guys. So until next time, I'll see you guys later. Devastating way to lose, but now and forever, continue will be. Go Pistons. I'll catch y'all later.